Hey guys, what's going on? It's MajiinBae. Welcome back to the channel. So we have another state of the game announcement. We knew this was coming because we were told about it last week. I made a video about it. It wasn't a very happy video if you guys watched it, but this one is somehow even unhappier. Basically, what we knew, to sum it up, is that they were shifting away from PvP into a more PvE style focus. And I said, yeah, this is probably going to be the end of Legend of Runeterra as we know it eventually, right? Because they're going to be siphoning resources. They're not going to have enough resources for PvP. They're only going to release a couple of sets coming out. Maybe we have some opens, probably won't have any prizes. You know, it's going to be really rough. But I'm still going to be making content for the foreseeable future while I try to find something else to transition into. This announcement basically says, yeah, so all that stuff, it's just gone. They're not going to be running any more opens ever. No worlds again. PvP ladder rewards are gone. Gauntlets are gone. It's basically all going away. They have one set left that they've already finished that's going to be released. And then after that, PvP or, Runeterra. I like to think of Legend of Runeterra and Path of Champions almost as two different games. Legend of Runeterra is going to be, for all intents and purposes, pretty dead, unless you're specifically a Path of Champions player, and that's pretty rough. It's obviously brutal for a lot of players, right? We're sunk a lot of time into this. You do have, like I said, one more expansion left, but it's not very exciting to show up and play the expansion in your gauntlets. They won't exist. Ladder, there's not even ranked rewards, right? It's just like it's kind of going down. It's not going down. It was a very sudden and swift end, which is brutal. And then they make mention of things like they make mention of, oh yeah, we're putting it on hiatus, blah 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 blah, right? Don't worry, you can still play casual all the time, blah, 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 blah. But a lot of these things are very, even the game will be more monetized moving forwards. They're like, yeah, it's going to be more monetized. But, PvE is not super monetizable, at least not that I know of. Maybe they, strike it rich and they hit something really, really good, and they manage to super monetize the game and make a ton of money. And I honestly hope that happens, and then PvE blows up and Path of Champions is huge. That'd be great. I would love that. I wouldn't play it because I don't play Path of Champions. But I'd be happy to see Legend of Runeterra succeed, right, at all for any group of people. But if you sift through the corporate speak, and honestly, as far as corporate speak goes, it's very blunt. It basically just says PvP is gone. We're not ever focusing on it ever again. And then if you're like, oh, I'm a Path player, this is great because I only play Path of Champions. The problem is they say they're refocusing on Path of Champions and PvE, but that's also not really what's happening here. They're leaving a skeleton crew for Path of Champions and PvE. At least that's what it seems like with the letting go of the majority of the team. And so they're focusing on Path because it's the only thing they can focus on. They're focusing on Path, right? It's just going to be kind of running a bit of a ghost ship for a while. There will be some stuff that comes out, but the things that they teased in the trailers, these aren't things that they can do now that they're focusing on PvE. These are things they already have done, right? LoR as a whole is just going away, which is terribly sad. Now, I could keep talking about this specifically, and I have a couple more points to make, but then the rest of the video is going to be focused on how this affects me and my channel because I'm selfish and it's my channel and I could talk about me if I want to. So first off, the monetization. I know a lot of us have our own ideas of how Runeterra could better monetize or advertise, but we all were operating under the assumption, or most of us, I feel like, we're operating under the assumption that Legend of Runeterra was not making money. It was losing money, but not a lot of money, just a bit, right? Not too much. But what we find out by reading I think it was like a Reddit post that the devs were talking at, we found out that the game is actually many times more, it costs multiples of what it brings back in. So let's say the game brings in $1,000, right? The game costs $3,000 to run. So they're actually just losing triple for every month or whatever that they keep it in service, that they have all these employees hired. And that's that. Those are numbers I made up, obviously. But that really puts into perspective like just how unbelievably unprofitable Legends of Runeterra was, which is honestly shocking. We all have our own opinions on what they could have done better to advertise, to monetize, but at the end of the day, right, it's a business, and I can't begrudge them for stopping a product that is costing them money. You know, how do you explain to your shareholders that you have to keep this game alive and keep supporting this game that's literally a sinkhole of money because it has good vibes and it helps your lore, right? Like you can't really do that. So yeah, it really sucks. I can't even say how much it sucks. But it is what it is. So time for the selfish part of the video. What happens to me? What am I gonna do? This was a gut punch. Last week was a gut punch, and this was like 2 gut punches and a kick to the nuts. I woke up to play my gauntlets on stream and found out that there's never going to be another official tournament for the game ever again. And that was really brutal. You know, that was really tough. Especially, I'm a competitive player. That's what I do. If you watch my channel, you probably know that. And to find out that there's nothing to strive for, there's nothing to compete for, there's no point in improving, nothing or nobody to test yourself against, was really tough on me. I couldn't even get myself to like open the client, and I really like playing Runeterra. Right, I don't know, it was so brutal. And then could I keep making Path of Champions? Could I make Path of Champions content? I could, but I don't want to, 1, and 2, there's no audience. Some creators might end up taking that route, and I wish them the best of luck. I expect that if they do, the audience that they garner at first will, after the new path content releases, will eventually dwindle away with the rest of the game. I don't think there's much of a Runeterra community without the PvP community. That might just be a bias because I'm in the PvP community, but I don't see Path of Champions players get together and talking about builds or anything like that. So I really just don't see PvE being a super popular way forward for any content creators. So where does that leave me? I have a sizable-ish following, right? Enough to currently like pay the bills and make it so I don't starve. But if I just switch games, I lose a lot of money and viewers. That's how these things work. And I knew this was coming. If you watched my previous video, you know that I was going to shift away once we got the news that they were going to start tamping down on PvP and Runeterra in general, but I wasn't ready for it to be this sudden. I thought we'd have. Sorry, I'll full screen the cam. I thought we had time. Please ignore my very long Ethernet cable snaking underneath my door. I thought we'd have more time. Honestly, I thought I would have 6 months to a year of content left to make with opens, worlds, right? Possibly a worlds, right? Even if it's no prizes, opens basically run themselves. And so I figured we'd still have a couple of those, and I'd get to make content while I try to figure out what I want to do. But now it's basically the cutoff is here, and they just said, nope, we're done. And so I got to find out what I want to do and what I'm going to do sooner rather than later. I have to leave in like 5 hours to catch a flight. It's like 11 o'clock at night right now. Gotta be up at like 3:30 in the morning. So I'm not going to do too much deep thinking about it right now. I'm going to be gone for the next like week and a half. I have a Flesh and Blood tournament this weekend, and then I get back and almost immediately leave to LA for the Legends of Runeterra Invitational, which sounds a little bit less fun now. But I am still looking forward to it. Looking forward to meeting a bunch of people in the community and other content creators and stuff. So what am I going to do? I can tell you what I'm thinking I'm going to do. The only other game right now that has the viewership needed to pay bills with content and that catches my attention and scratches that same competitive itch is currently Teamfight Tactics. I understand it's a bit of a jump for some of the viewers here. I think Teamfight Tactics is a great game. I think it's really, really good. And I've always wanted an excuse to like really see how well I can do in the competitive scene. Now, the issue with Teamfight Tactics, and I'm probably going to talk more about this later if this is the direction I decide to go in, But if you'll excuse a bit of a rant, the issue with Teamfight Tactics content creation is that if you're trying to make content for Teamfight Tactics and you're not already an established streamer slash YouTuber in the space, it's almost impossible to break in. The only way, it seems, to get more views or to get eyes on you is to succeed competitively, to be a high ladder player, a very strong player, or someone who's doing well at tournaments and stuff. I currently am none of those things. So here's the issue. I'm currently Plat 2 at TFT. I've been Masters before, but never higher than that. I've never really tried to go higher than that. So currently Plat 2. The new TFT season comes out in 2 months, I think, with the new expansion. And by then, I'm going to do my best to be tournament ready. We're going to be trying to shoot for high Masters in 2 months in a game I don't really play. And that's going to be what I'm going to try to do. I could eat a loss for a while to start making new content in the Teamfight Tactics space and to take the time to try to get good. But if in 6 months I can't do it, I'm just going to have to try something else, right? I'll have to get a job too, but I'll keep trying things while I'm working. You know, I don't want to give up on content that easily. I really enjoy streaming and I really like making content much more than I ever thought I would. So that's currently the plan, but this is like the same day that we received the announcement, so I'm in like panicky, scrambly mode. My plans might change. New information might come to light. I might find something that I really like or get an offer that's really, really good, right? But for now, the plan for the channel is once I get back from my trips in a week and a half, we're going to start up with TFT content. And the TFT content is going to be focused on two things. One, gameplay content of me trying to go from basically zero to hero in the most popular strategy game on the planet. So surely that won't be that hard. I'm Plat 2. I'm basically Challenger. And I think that'll be fun. I know a lot of people, especially in the Runeterra community and other card game communities, are interested in TFT, but don't really know what's going on in it. And there's a very steep initial learning curve in the game. So the other kinds of content that I'm going to try to make is going to be much more beginner friendly. I'm going to try to make things like very archaic content because I don't like doing scripted things. So I'm going to be making like a slideshow where I talk about the important things in TFT, what you should be focusing on in your first couple games, what like the avenues of improvement, right? Things like that. And I hope you guys are interested in stuff like that. If you have some cool ideas for content like that, let me know in the comments. If you are interested, let me know in the comments. If you're not and you hate everything but Path of Champions, I guess let me know in the comments, right? But yeah, that is currently the plan. Maybe some more IRL TCG content, things like some Flesh and Blood at tournament vlogs and whatnot. Not this weekend though, because I'm going to take this weekend to basically be very sad and hang out with my friends. But that's the direction of the channel, and that's currently the direction that I'm going in. I want to take time basically to just say like that really appreciate everybody who supported me, everyone who watched all my videos or any of my videos or hate watching my videos. That's fine too. I really appreciate everything Runeterra has done for me, right? Legendary Runeterra is how I started making content. It's how I started streaming, and it's become my livelihood over the last three years. And that's something I never thought I would ever do. I never thought of myself as an entertainer or really an educator. And I've really enjoyed this content journey, I suppose. I think I developed a lot as a person and learned a lot about myself, if you allow me to be sappy. And yeah, no regrets for all the time I spent on it. I'll still be playing Runeterra on my own. When the new set comes out, I'll probably make some videos on it. I gotta, especially if we see some really cool champions released. But it'll be a little bit bittersweet, I'm not gonna lie. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think of the news, what you guys are gonna play next, all that kind of stuff. And thanks so much for coming. See you guys next time.